Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I
Good to see you.
I see it was haircut day on Monday.
Ah, yes, haircut day.
Yeah, we're getting close for me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It gets to be about that time.
It is about a month in, and you gotta go for it.
Gotta go for it.
Yep. I learned though this last month that after the move, I didn't have a water softener yet,
Right.
and the water was so hard that it actually made the haircut difficult because of how.
Oh.
I hate to say it, but like it felt like my hair was crunchy because of the
Yeah.
water was so hard.
Some gritty hair.
Yeah, almost. And it was I was like, what is wrong? And I realized it was the softened water. But now I have softened water, and so
Yes.
we're good.
Cuts as smooth as silk.
It's smooth as silk.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So so good for you, haircut day.
Haircut day.
I was hanging more pictures yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep. We're almost.
So
to the end.
you got to be pretty close because if you've been going through it and you said it already it was looking pretty good.
Getting there, yeah.
And so now it's just
I also
coming together.
I also bought some patio furniture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't going to. I mean, I was eventually because, just like, I don't want to spend more money. I've been moving. I've been, spent money on movers. Like
You've been through a lot.
Right.
I mean, it's
I've spent through a lot. And
yeah,
I wasn't
that's
going
part of it,
to.
isn't it?
But Lowe's, not a paid endorsement, had some patio furniture on sale a week ago.
Okay.
And it was clear because it was Labor Day that they were trying to get rid of it. Which, by the way, it's never lost on me the irony of the fact that our outdoor season begins, but yet all the retailers are geared towards, kind of mountainous all the way to the East Coast. Like, oh, it's fall. Nobody's outside anymore.
Yes.
And for
Shut
us-
it down.
Yeah, shut it down. So like they're clearing out all the patio furniture just as it's actually going to be.
This is a great time to
Right.
be outside.
when I don't have to wear my asbestos suit and like heat goggles to survive, like I'm
Right?
walking around a volcano, right? So,
No, but like 7 o'clock outside on the
it's
patio,
beautiful,
it's the place
right?
to be.
and in another month, might actually be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Anyways,
right.
so they had some on sale a week ago when I was there getting stuff to like work on the house.
Sure.
And on a lark yesterday morning, I went over to Lowe's just to see, because my wife was like, Rachel was like, boy, it'll be really nice to have patio furniture out there. We could have picnics, that kind of stuff, right? She loves picnics. And so I was like, I'm just going to go over there and see if it's still on sale, because they didn't have much left.
Okay.
So yesterday I went over there, and they had gotten rid of all the display patio furniture. Like, they are done, right? And it just so happened that there was one, not on display, box of patio furniture unassembled
Yeah.
of the patio furniture that she looked at a week ago when we were there. And the only reason I knew it is because we looked at the set, and sitting next to the set were these sets of boxes. Now all is left is just an unassembled set in a box. Like, unless you knew that's what you wanted, you would have never known, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, they
yes.
were going to go put it in the back.
Right, because you didn't know, you couldn't see it and you can't see it.
Right.
then-
You
yeah.
don't. Right. So I knew that was it. So I went and go get a Lowe's associate, and I said, "How much is that now?" It actually was even $50 less than it was a week ago,
Well, well, well.
and it was already on sale a week ago.
Yeah.
It was already half off a week ago, and now another $50 off. So I said, "I'll buy it." I said, "I'll just take it." I said, "However, I need you to hold it until I can find somebody with a pickup truck to take it to the, for me to
Yes.
bring it home."
That's,
So
that's a thing.
that's the thing, right? And so I bought it. They put it in their little storage area. I called one of our church members. I called Rodney. Remember?
Oh,
You
yes.
know Rodney.
Yes.
I called Rodney because he had volunteered on something. He's like, "You need something? I'll be there."
And when you say that and you have a truck, look out.
Yeah, he meant it.
Yeah.
So I called Rodney. I'm like, this is a lark, man. I'm like, I just bought some patio furniture, but I need to get it home. He's like, I'm available. I'm on my way.
He's great.
It's just awesome, right?
He's great.
And he's
That's
like,
wonderful.
He's like, I'm glad you called today because today, Tuesday, he's like, I'm going out of town. I'm flying out. So he drove down to Lowe's, not a paid endorsement, and he picked it up and drove it over to the house.
How about that?
So now I have to assemble it.
Yep, that's the next step.
Which won't be a big deal. I mean, it won't be a big deal.
No, it takes a little bit of time,
But it's
yeah.
going to be fine. And I like it because one of the reasons when we looked at it, one reason I like it is it's not metal, meaning if you tried to sit on it in the summer, you'd brand yourself, right? It's resin.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you're familiar with this, but as of recent, a lot of folks who build decks, not concrete patios, will use this composite material, resin material called Trex, because plywood or 2x4s, they wear out if you don't keep them treated and all that kind of stuff. So they've been making this resin wood, for lack of a better word, composite material that holds up under all circumstances, heat and cold and all that kind of stuff. So this is made of that resin composite material versus plastic, which, if you've ever had plastic lawn chairs out here, they eventually degrade because of the
It doesn't
heat
take long
before
does
they
it?
crack and go out. So actually it's a nice set that should hold up over the summer too. And it has a little hole in the middle of the table, so you know what that means. We're getting an umbrella. So Rachel says to me when I said, surprise, I got us the furniture set you like. She says to me, did you get an umbrella? And I said, no. I said, I'm waiting for you to pick out the color.
Yes.
Because I want her to, find the right color umbrella.
Find the right color umbrella. You do need the right color.
That's right. So
yeah.
Anyway, so, even if I finish one project of hanging pictures, guess what?
Then you can go
I
out
can
and
just go out and build some lawn furniture.
put together the lawn furniture.
Yeah. But you know what I decided, because I have so much open space currently in the house, is I'm going to build that stuff inside.
If you've got the space.
I got the space. I got a gymnasium floor of space right now.
Yeah.
In the front part of the house. So nothing in there but a nice $50 rug. So I got plenty of room to build me some lawn furniture. It could become my temporary dining room set because I got nothing in that room. So
Yeah.
the ceilings are tall enough that I could also put the umbrella up too if I wanted. So
How about that?
Pretend picnics in the house.
Yeah, and it's not terrible outside if you were coming back at the end of the day, but that's just when like the wind blows something off and you lose stuff.
That's right. The other thing I did yesterday, this is ludicrous. You have to do this every so often. At least the way I cook, I do. I have to clean the gas grill every so often. Because you get buildup of grease and gunk.
Yes,
and then
that's always a chore.
And then eventually, if you don't deal with that, you eventually just have a nasty grease fire.
I know, it is always fine until my wife wants to use the grill, and then
the grease fire happens.
and then she reminds me it's been too long.
Too long.
Yes,
well, I knew it was coming because
not been diligent.
I know that when I can no longer regulate the temperature in the grill, it keeps getting hotter than it should.
It gets pretty warm.
And I know at that point that it needs to be cleaned. So I said last time, it was a couple weeks ago, I said, before I cook again, I got to clean the grill. So yesterday I cleaned the grill. And, and you have tar and gunk and burnt stuff everywhere when you're cleaning the grill.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it, I was wearing shorts. I had it on my legs, all the way up my arms.
It is very
mess.
Grease is
it's a nasty thing.
It's a kind of a gunky substance.
It is gunky. So I got that thing totally clean, which is way better on a backyard patio than it is out in the driveway from the condo. Because it's just people are watching you as they're walking by or driving by. At least you have some privacy making a mess, right? So I get this thing cleaned up, and I literally had to go kind of hose myself off because of all the particles of everything on it, right?
Yes.
But I grilled
Hollering
burgers
at somebody
last
to
night.
bring the Dawn dish soap.
Pretty much. I needed that lava stuff with the pumice. Never use lava soap, bar soap as your shower soap. That is a mistake. Just
Noted.
that's a public service announcement. That's a freebie today. And if you've never tried, then don't. How about that? You know.
Okay.
But if you've ever used lava, you know what I'm saying. There is. So I grilled last night. Burgers.
Burgers.
Kept a constant 450 in that grill
The whole time.
the whole time. It's perfect. So I was glad I did that too.
Very nice. Very
So
nice.
so a day off should be a day of rest. It was not a day of rest yesterday. I was on the go from beginning to end.
Yes.
So-
a lot going on.
Yeah.
Fair
But,
enough.
You know, but it
Some good stuff too.
yeah, it keeps
it's
me
productive.
out of trouble. Yeah, it's
Yes.
productive. Yeah, it keeps me out of trouble and
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah,
Very well.
yeah. Can you did you do anything as exciting as clean the grill?
I think I did clean the grill last week.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. Otherwise, we had soccer games.
Oh, sure.
We
that's right.
had all kinds of stuff along with church on the weekend.
Yeah.
So
That's right. We did do church. This
we did
weekend,
do
didn't we?
church on the weekend. So
How exciting though! We're going to have the bishop here this coming weekend.
That's right.
Yeah, not on Saturday night, but she's coming into town and will be with
Yes.
us on Sunday morning at the tail end of 8 a.m., all at 9:30, and at least up through announcements at 11.
Yeah,
So
you had mentioned this to me weeks ago, and
Yeah.
then when you said again, it's like, oh yeah, that's this week.
That's right. That's right.
That's coming up fast.
So yeah, so it'll be nice to have our bishop visiting with us,
Mm-hmm.
and I and I told our bishop, I'm like, I don't want you coming to work. I want you to just come and just hang out with us.
She's gonna make some
Yeah, but she's not gonna have to
announcements,
preach
but she's
or
not going
figure
to
out.
have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lead something. It's just come and greet everybody.
We're not going to
and-
make her deal with any pastoral crisis
no,
that day.
No, we're actually going to keep it light. It's like she works hard enough that
She's wonderful.
she could just come to church and just be like
Yeah.
and not have to
Yep.
do a whole lot. So we look forward to having a bishop with us, and that'll
Mm-hmm.
be nice too. So, but yeah, I mean we gathered into this week, and we just finished off. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in
Yes.
heaven.
And we're finding that there's a lot to be said about each of these short petitions that I think any of us can be guilty of just kind of going right by them.
Glossing them.
Yeah, and there's so much depth to
Yeah.
each one of these
Yep.
petitions.
And we have our worship meeting today as our staff meeting too. And one of the things that I thought was, as we're looking ahead, because that's what we do, there is an excellent prayer for give us this day our daily bread. And it pairs so nicely that this weekend there is so much already I'm thinking about so much to share. And you just think, well, that seems to be an easy, short, give us this day our daily bread. There is so much there
Right.
in this one little line that pairs with another prayer, but also that prayer really pairs with another theme within the book of Ecclesiastes. Like there's some good stuff that I'm actually excited to share this weekend too.
Yeah.
So we talked about that. So, but we're going to go back to 9:30, and there was a beautiful choir anthem that really hit the mark. And I'm hoping that when I say this, that Jason actually knows that that's the right song today.
Or that our computer program doesn't
Crash.
when we go to the transition.
Yeah, knock on real leather. Here it is. Right?
Let's see.
Let's see. So let's see if this is the choir anthem that I'm going to talk about, whether it's the video or not. So let's take a listen. We have an awesome choir.
Yeah, it's a wonderful song, and they did a great job with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And love the work that Keith Thompson does with our choir.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fun to see the passion and just the meetings ahead of time. Like, oh, we want to work on this, or how this comes together, and just sharing all the little
And what you don't
details on
see
that.
because his back's to the camera, he's singing along.
Yeah.
He is singing with that,
Yeah.
and you can see the passion and you can see the heart in directing the choir, and it moves me to see such a committed kind of feel
Yes.
within that, as opposed to I'm just here to sing this and we're moving on. Like, no,
Yeah.
he's totally into this, and just love that. So
Yeah,
that is awesome.
it is. It is.
So Total Praise is, I believe, a choir arrangement out of Brooklyn Tabernacle, and released in 1999. At least that's what the interwebs told me. I went hunting to find
99,
this.
huh?
1999, which reminds me, 1999, I was an associate pastor.
That's right. That
Right
was your
here.
year.
Yeah.
Back here.
Exactly. And this room right here, if you go back to 1999, this was a small conference room back in 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then at some point it got moved into the music library.
Yep. So
Then
here,
it-
so not too detailed, but Kay Christensen, our music director,
Yeah.
then the music library was in her office. Like, she had the music library in her office. So like that's just the way it was, right?
Where was her office at?
The current conference room in our offices.
Yes.
So it was
That
that's
was-
a nice sized room.
That's a nice size
Because
room.
we have a full size
So-
conference room in there,
yeah.
or desk in there, a table, and so all the music was in there. She was the guardian of the music.
Guardian of the music.
So then it got moved over here into this room, and then eventually then into the big room in the back.
Yep.
So, but yeah, so this was a conference room back then. I was associate pastor here, and that was about the time that I read the book by Jim Cymbala, who was the pastor. I don't know if he still is or not, or if he's retired, but he wrote a book called Fresh Wind, Fresh Fire about the Brooklyn Tabernacle. And I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
That church's revival was solely based on becoming a church of prayer.
Yeah.
Everything was based on prayer. And so their rise, their not popularity, but their power and impact was all based on this message that Jim Cymbala received from Jesus about, you're going to be a church of prayer. And he's like, okay, because nothing else seems to be working. So, I mean, literally, the
then-
whole place was falling apart. And he's like, okay, then it's going to be about prayer. And lo and behold, God delivered on his promise to that church in
Wow.
Brooklyn to be a church based in prayer.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
And his wife Carol led the choir for many, many years and wrote and arranged music, and this is one of them. Now, when you think about this, if you've listened to the song, you're going to get glimpses of some psalms. Specifically, what one really jumps out, at least it did for me, was Psalm 121.
Mm-hmm.
Is, when you start with, Lord, I lift my eyes to the hills, knowing my help comes from you. You go, well, that's Psalm 121,
That
right?
is 121.
Yeah.
A beautiful psalm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's left an impact in a lot of places.
It
yeah,
does. And I'll tell you this is, I'm not one to set myself up or sit myself down to memorize scripture. Never been that person. Ever, ever, ever. I am not a memorization guy.
Mm-hmm.
However, what I would tell you, because you might think, oh, you just can rattle that off like it's only because I spend I wouldn't say so much, but enough time studying every week that things stick. So the aim was never to memorize scripture. It has just been that I study enough throughout the week that over the years, not a month, not a week, but over the years, scriptures
Yeah.
and their references start to stick.
Yeah.
And so you
Yeah.
remember them. That's how it jumps out. And then there are other places where maybe not the citation, meaning the book and the chapter, isn't like lodged in my head, but I'll know like, oh, there's a verse on XY or whatever that is, and I know it. I just don't know where it's at. So then I'll do a quick search and find it. I'm like, yep, that's what I was looking for. you know.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, for example, in either First or Second Peter, here's an example of that: is cast your cares or anxieties on Jesus, for He cares for you. I couldn't give you the chapter and verse. I just know it's in one of the
Yes.
two Peters,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
so there's stuff like that. But a quick search online or in my Bible program, you just pull it right up. So it's not because I've set to memorize stuff. It's just that things, if you spend enough time studying or reading, things eventually just kind of land there and
They
you hold
do.
on to
Yeah,
them, you
yeah.
know. So
Latch on.
So yeah, so I'm not trying to. I'm only trying to explain to you, like, you spend enough time in the Word, you end up like remembering things, right? But let's begin with the first line of the song, as compared to the first line of Psalm 121. I lift my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. So that almost is a direct
Yeah, it is.
back and forth.
Oh yeah, it's yeah, yeah.
And you think about David, who wrote this, and you're like, okay, that's 2,900 years ago. 950 years before the time of Jesus, right? And
Pretty wild.
and yeah, right. And it still has meaning when you ask a rhetorical question. Where does my help come from? And it's a question to ask ourselves. I mean, in the same way that there's that time that Jesus asked the disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" Right? It's a rhetorical question in some ways. And not only should we answer the question, "Where does my help come from?" But I also would think about that question of Jesus, right? Who do people say that I am? I think there's a calling that we too have to answer that question of, who do you say that Jesus is? Is he a teacher? Is he a reincarnated prophet? I mean, that's some of what they were saying when some people are saying,
It's interesting because the Bible dwells on that question because it's almost like it's wanting to stir that out of us and
Yeah.
kind of make us think.
tease that out,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, some people say you're John the Baptist come back from the dead, right? I'm like, well, that would be like reincarnation. Like, we don't even believe in that, but here we are, right? Like, they're even talking like that. So it comes back to, where does your help come from? Now, back then they didn't have as many monuments, especially in Israel, to point to, but we have a lot of man-made things that we could say, where does my help come from? Well, if I really need help, I got this great little rectangle here that will save me.
Do it all for you.
Yeah, call 911. It'll show cat videos. It'll keep me entertained. I mean, this little idiot box right here. I used to
It's
be
pretty
in
amazing.
tube TVs that I had to go home to do that, but now I can do this anywhere, right? And
Yes.
make calls and take pictures of dumb stuff, right?
Don't even have to lift your eyes. You can
No,
just,
I don't have to lift my eyes for those. I can drop my eyes to my phone.
Yeah.
But you could rewrite that, right? I mean, my eyes look down to my phone, but where does my help come from? You could drive along, at least in Las Vegas, up 15 from Russell Road all the way to, let's say, where the 95 meets there.
Mm-hmm.
And you could look at all of these tall hotels, these magnificent I mean, they're really engineering feats. So many of them in Las Vegas.
They're meant to make us, yeah.
And you
Whoa.
lose scale.
Yeah.
Like, because they're all big, right? And then you get up and you're like, oh my gosh, these are amazing. Where does my help come from? Is it man-made?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, right? No. But there are places that we put things in place of God.
We do. No, I mean, there are times where, if you forget your phone, it just like fills you with dread. Like, no. And it just, because we're saying that's where our help comes from.
Yeah. It's the most important thing that we have in our pockets, right? Yeah. And so the reminder is, where does my help come from? If strip all that other stuff away, in the end, it's between you and the eternal one. That's it. In the end, that there's a relationship of one-on-one, you and God. And so to make our way through life the sooner we come to that realization and trust in that help, the better life is in a lot of ways. Not that it's easier. I didn't say easier. I chose my words carefully.
Yeah.
But life is better with God than without. And I'd rather trust in the one who created it all than trust in something that has a shelf life and will come to a day when it no longer charges on its charger. Or buildings come and go. Where does your help come from? It comes from the Lord.
Yep.
Now, there's this other line in this song that says, "You are the source of my strength, and you are the strength in my life." And instead of going to Psalm 121, we jump backwards to Psalm 59 and verse 16 and 17. So the song says, "You are the source of my strength," or "You are the source of strength, and you are the strength in my life." Now, this is what the psalmist says in Psalm 59.
Yeah. But I will sing of your strength. In the morning I will sing of your love. For you are my fortress, my refuge in times of trouble. O my strength, I sing praise to you. You, O God, are my fortress, my loving God.
So where does our strength come from? It comes from God. And I think about this, when you think about strength, I also think about the word courage. And when we think about having the courage to do something hard, even say something that may be difficult. I don't mean mean. I chose my words carefully, but saying something difficult or calling something out because it is the right time to do so. Having courage to do that doesn't necessarily mean there's a lack of fear. That you could be nervous about doing this, or you could be unsure about doing something, but you have the courage to at least do it. And I think that's really that fine line, because I think often people there are some people who have no fear and they're courageous about everything, and then there's the rest of us who are always timid or nervous about doing something that might cause consternation, right? But it isn't black and white. Most of us who have the courage to take a step or to do something still have a little bit of uncertainty in doing it. And I think that's the thing, is you go, God, you're the source of my strength. There's nothing about saying, and I have no fear now. Like, it just says, I'm going to lean on you to do the right thing, but that doesn't necessarily preclude the fact that I'm still going to be like, I hope this is okay, right? And it's okay to be nervous or uncertain, but if the Spirit is whispering into your ear saying, do this or say this because it follows the love of Jesus, it follows in that path of the gospel, the good news, you still might be uncertain, but you know it's the right thing to do in that moment, right? And I just know that there are so many people who are like, well, God may be the source of my strength and I can sing of your strength, but I'm a, fraidy cat. I mean, that's an old line. Last week I brought out another old line. You ever use the word fraidy cat?
I know of the term. It doesn't show up too often in my vocabulary.
I bet they used that back in Hub, Mississippi back in the day. Calling somebody a fraidy cat.
Fraidy cat.
Good. Because I don't want to poo-poo that. That was that other line I used last week, right? I'm breaking out all the old sayings from my grandparents,
They're good terms.
Yeah, they are. But there's the thing is about, you can take a step forward and still be uncertain. That's courage. And I know the vast majority of us fall into that category. And there's only a few people who for whatever reason, their brain receptors don't register fear. And we look to that as the example. I don't think that's the example. I think the real example is taking a step and going, I'm going to do this no matter how I personally feel, because I know God's calling me to do this, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can say God is the source of my strength and at the same time feel uncertain because that's just the reality of the human condition. And I want you to own that and and really be cognizant of the fact that you don't have to be fearless. You can still have a little bit of fear and take a step,
Absolutely.
and it's okay.
Absolutely.
Now, there's one other line in here I wanted to just briefly explore, and it says, "Your peace," this is the song, "Your peace you give me in the time of the storm." And I was looking in the Psalms. I was looking for peace.
3 Psalms today.
3 Psalms
Yeah.
today. And every so often, because the Bible is a big book,
It is.
a collection of lots of other books to make one big book, occasionally you run across something and you go, I didn't know that was there.
Right. Or I never saw it that way
way.
before. Or this is a brand new. Yeah.
This is one of them for me.
Yeah.
And I'm
Ooh.
curious if it is for you.
Okay. Okay.
Psalm 107, verse 28 through 31. Then they, that is a group of folks, cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out of their distress. I mean, that seems fairly standard stuff.
Yeah.
But listen
that
to
sounds.
this.
That sounds.
But
pretty
listen to
familiar.
this. God stilled the storm to a whisper, and the waves of the sea were hushed. They, the people, were glad when it grew calm, and God guided them to their desired haven. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for humanity.
That is, I think it is. It has that new feel, particularly when you feel like it could be paired with so many other texts that, yeah.
I don't know. Let's think about maybe another story in the Bible
and
about
it-
someone who's the son of God calming a storm, right?
But it's not. It's not lifted up in those.
No.
Yeah. So that is.
So
that's
when
kinda-
I was like looking for and the word peace doesn't show up in this, but you think about peace in the time of storm. God stilled the storm to a whisper, and the waves of the sea were hushed. And they, the group of the people who were caught in the storm, were glad when it grew calm. Like, oh my gosh, how have I never seen this before?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, there. And it's not like, by the way, Matthew, the gospel writer Matthew, is like the most Jewish oriented of all the gospel writers, right? And not even Matthew goes, as it is written, and then, because Matthew will do that, as it is written, then he'll quote something from the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament. This is not it. He doesn't do that in this. But yet, oh my gosh, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when life is full of uncertainty, which there always seems to be a measure of uncertainty in life, that God is the one who will come and be with us in the storm and help us navigate our way to calmer seas, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to tell you that this may tell you the weather. You can look at the weather, but it's not
Sure.
going to calm the storm, folks.
It can't calm the storm.
It's not going to. It may tell you the temperature, but that's about it.
Yes.
So look to the one who can do all things and did all things, including conquer death, so that one day we can all be together again in his kingdom, and that's a beautiful thought. So we're glad that you've joined us today. Thank you for spending this part of your afternoon with us or whenever you watch this. But we hope you have a good rest of your day. And yes, it's cooling off. We're looking forward to the rest of the week
Yeah.
and get out there and enjoy some of that weather. But we love you. God bless you. Take care. And Philip, will you play us out?